Welcome to the SaaS Revolution show. Amir Orad, CEO of Sisense. Welcome, Amir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on the show. I think it's the first person from Sisense, or maybe I know that I've spoken in the past to Saar Bittner, who used to be VP of Marketing.
Yep.
For some time, and SaaStock came to Tel Aviv. We did a SaaStock on tour a couple of years ago. And we had some folks from Sisense and Gong and Salesforce involved. But great to have you on the podcast for the first time, and just in the run up to SaaStock Remote, which you'll be speaking at on June the 10th or 11th.
Coming up.
Excited for that. So tell us a little bit about yourself first. As your first time on the show, tell our listeners, who is Amir Orad?
Sure. So in a nutshell, before Sisense, I'm a SaaS veteran by now, I guess, because I actually had my first SaaS company in 2000. We called it back then subscription and ASP, and we call it hosting, not the cloud. But in essence, it was SaaS. And when the term MRR and ARR were just invented by Bessemer was one of the investors. So I've been doing a few startups from 2000, first one in cybersecurity analytics, second one around financial crime analytics. Both became quite big. The last one was over 200 million revenue, named Actimize, and joined Sisense 5 years ago. 3 kids live in New York, the center of the plague right now. But originally from Israel, where we still have a lot of employees also at Sisense. So that's in high level myself. And then Sisense, in really 2 sentences, we help people build analytics on complex data and build those analytic apps and embed them in their business or products, quite a late stage pre-IPO kind of company.
Can you share some data around the company? So how many employees, I guess how many locations, any revenue funding that you've received?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we're late stage. We have over $100 million in ARR. We announced last year we crossed the 100 million ARR. About 800 employees, raised over $250 million in funding over 5 rounds. Some of our, I would say, known VCs will be Battery, Bessemer, DFJ Growth, Insight Ventures, and the like. So I would say good backers of the company. We are quite global today. Well, right now we're all remote, but we're quite global with large offices in New York, California, Arizona, Tel Aviv, Kiev, London, Australia, Melbourne, Australia, and Tokyo. So I would say we're quite global. Over 2,000 customers, which include all the way to very, very large ones like GE, Philips, Expedia, and all the way to the cream of the SaaS industry. Think about Seismic, UiPath, PagerDuty as customers, Tinder and the like, and many, many SMBs across many industries, from the Salvation Army and the Red Cross, all the way to colleges, universities, and small mom and pop shops.
So, as you said, you're currently in New York, which is, one of the centers of the pandemic.
Yeah, you guys compete with us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, it's definitely getting better here. I don't know about sort of New York. I mean, certainly the daily death rates is, it's way dropped, and the lockdown is starting to end. As of Monday, we're allowed to see 6 people in a garden, but not go in their house or stay over. So that'll be quite interesting, but certainly we're seeing some positives. So, although again, and not to be negative, you look at countries like Korea that did a great job at locking down and really kind of combating the virus. They're a little bit ahead of us, and we've seen that they've now done a more further lockdown in Korea as the outbreak. So it'll be interesting to see how long this disease stays with us. But I've been over the last sort of couple of months with all the guests, really kind of starting off just asking kind of one question around sort of COVID and how it's how it's either affecting them, their business, the way they adapted their business. So I'd be very keen to just understand for you at Sisense, you know, what have you done to kind of adapt, you know, as a business? Obviously, apart from remote work, everybody's done remote, but again, 800 people going remotely, you know, overnight is a big thing. But tell us a little bit about what you've done.
Sure. So I would actually divide, I think it's a really good question. I'll divide the answer into three: the people front, what we have done with the community, and then the business. And I think that's the right order, because your number one priority as a company leader is to take care of your people at the end. And what we have done, besides the obvious remote from home, was to quickly realize that this is actually, people worked the hardest ever during the last few months. They had more meetings, more Zoom calls, more anything than before, while trying to juggle multiple kids in the background, and the family, and personal life, and pressure, and getting food on their table, and all of that stuff. So what we're doing is a lot of over communication, to the point I have a weekly video I share on Slack with the entire company of what's happening in the company across various dimensions. Number two, we literally mandated, now about once a month, a mandatory long weekend. We call it self-care day, where people are mandated to do nothing in work. It's not counted as a vacation day. No one is like counting it, but no one is allowed to work. And we do it on the weekend, so they get a 3-day weekend, and everyone can just stop and relax and breathe and think and be with their family, because we're all going crazy, right? Each in his own, her own way. So that's one. We also literally announced no meeting days, because we just had too many meetings. We want people to think and be creative, because what we found, we actually increase productivity and reduce creativity in the last few months. So those were some examples of over communication, forcing people to take time off, no meeting days, to really help people just survive in this, mentally survive in this reality. And I think people appreciate that, and it's our job. You lead the company, you lead people, take care of them, especially now with all this mess, especially in a global company. We have so many different stages of COVID going on. And I told everyone, look, this will get worse. This is in March. It will get worse before it gets better. And like you, I believe it'll be a second wave, and you have to be robust and ready for it, because this is not a overnight kind of issue. Then we focused our attention on the community, and something I'm very proud we did. We actually did not try to go to the press about it on purpose, is just help the community. And we said, anyone who needs analytics to fight COVID-19 will get it for free. We will help them, we'll give them people for free. That's our small way to help. We're not doctors. I don't have masks to give. I don't have, billions of dollars to give to charity, but I have good technology. And I'm proud to say we have multiple organizations using us, all the way from dashboards for ventilator production to people with diabetes and how it impacts them and their ability to get COVID, to communities using Sisense analytics to deal with the disease. And it's the most fulfilling thing you can do. Lastly, on the business, we went to all our customers, over 2,000. We reached out to each and every one and asked one question: how can we help? Some it was technology. Some it was, they need to spread some payments for a few months because they're challenged. Some it was advice. Some asked us about our customer success so they can learn how to reach out to their own people. Depends on the company, but just helping our customers. We're a customer first company. So that's our duty, to help them. And you'll be shocked how many just benefit they reach out asking, how can we help? It's so obvious and so material. So we're doing that. We saw, like everyone, a slowdown in March, but actually it picked up again in April, and we're growing. Maybe not as fast as we planned to grow a few months ago, but we're growing, closing deals faster and faster as the weeks go by. Strategically, this is accelerating the need for analytics, accelerating the digital transformation of companies, accelerating the needs to understand and optimize, accelerating the need to become more efficient as a business. So strategically, it's a very good thing for the analytics and big data market. Short term, obviously, we're all human beings and we deal with this complexity.
Yeah, so I guess kind of leading on to that, right? I think you guys have just sent out a press release today or yesterday around how businesses have been using analytics to fight COVID, or help themselves get through COVID. Can you share about some insights into that report?
Sure. So we approach just over 500 companies, asking them the same 5-6 questions, which is your usage of analytics in the context of COVID-19, before, after. And we did that first for ourselves, right? It wasn't a publicity stunt. It was, hey, what can we find out about our market? And we thought it's really valuable to share as well. First, 49% of the people said that analytics are more important post-COVID-19 than before. Only 5% said it's less important. So clearly people believe this can help them survive or deal with COVID-19. What was interesting is, what are they doing with it, right? So number one, it's more valuable, more important. When you ask them why, it's very interesting. The large companies in the survey say that it's important for them to cut costs, become more efficient, etc. Small businesses, though, are saying it's much more important to go on the offense, sell more, build new services, right? Sales and marketing, etc. When you look more deeply, it is people are saying, how can we use data to predict the future so we can plan the business better? And how can we support our customers better? I'll give you one data point that is amazing. We have a very large Fortune 500 travel company. Their revenue went down de facto 100%. Analytics usage went up by their customers over 40%. Which is kind of weird, right? There's way less traffic and analytics volume is going up because every customer is trying to understand what's going on. Where can I save money? How can we optimize our travel? When can I get a refund from which company? How should I plan for the future? How do I get employees from office A and B given all the universal lockdown? So this is a great anecdote. Revenue down 95, 100%, analytics up 40%. And we see it across many, many businesses. We had a small company, it's a family company, and they do desserts, right? Like the desserts, and they deliver them to restaurants and hotels. Well, guess what? No restaurant or hotel buys gourmet food right now. They use analytics to understand that very quickly, read the patterns, pivot the entire business to become B2C. Because at the same time, they found their website being hit by individuals trying to buy gourmet food for home, which they never did. So analyzing their business, they found out the B2B side is dying, the B2C side, which they don't have, is an opportunity, and they pivoted the entire company in 8 weeks. So people use analytics all the time. If you think about it, why do you need analytics? Because your gut is not strong enough. When is your gut not strong enough? When things change. That's when you need analytics. If it's all the same, you don't need data. So that's what we're seeing. Quite interesting.
There's some interesting use cases there in terms of like how the community and your customers are using analytics to help them through COVID. I'm keen to know, so you're running a 100 million plus ARR company. So you as the CEO, how are you using analytics to help you do your job and grow Sisense?
I will be a failing leader without analytics, and my teams will not be as good without using data. Now, you know what they said, rule number 1, trust the data. Rule number 2, trust your gut. If you don't agree with the data, it has to be a balance. Otherwise, robots will run the companies, right? It has to be a balancing act. However, I can tell you, we are using analytics. Number 1, in customer success, we sliced all our customers by vertical. When it's a startup, by funding stage to know how they're doing. By usage, how we can help them. It was a really bottom-up, company by company, analyzing them and getting dashboards and insights, how we can help them, and forecasting what we expect to see on collections, on renewals, etc. Number 2, we found out some verticals are behaving very differently than others, and what we did is refresh the entire pipe accordingly. So by now, I can tell you in May, and we're now end of May, analytics are helped us refresh the entire pipe. And we've done that to really spend more energy with the verticals that are open to business than not. And some of it was surprising and not expected. We have many travel companies actually asking to use analytics more than 3 months ago, which is totally counterintuitive, but the data showed us it's needed. And the reason is they're using the opportunity to upgrade their infrastructure and help their customers during those weird times. I would not expect that based on my gut. That's number two. Number three was around our entire operation, the remote work. Are we more productive? Are we more creative? We actually found out our support team is more productive than ever. The number of tickets we can handle or anything we do is better. But our R&D team is less creative when it's a new task because they need time to get together and they do that less. So how would you know all of that at a large company, hundreds of people, global, working from home? So that's what we do. And we help our customers with it the same way.
What about I think in the sort of use case, let's say the beginning of the year, like most companies, CEOs and their exec teams, they're planning, for the year ahead, doing their P&Ls, budgets, thinking about their teams, etc. Yep. And then certainly as COVID came, these plans, a lot of them are being sort of like ripped up. In this instance, how can you use kind of analytics for planning long term, and then even what we're seeing, and a lot of the CEOs I'm speaking to right now, they're planning for 30 days ahead almost only because they don't know what the future holds. So yeah. How can you use analytics in this scenario?
It's a very good question. First, every plan is the wrong plan by definition, right? The question is how wrong. Second, I would claim that every business on the planet, successful due to COVID and not successful, had to redo their plans. Zoom, probably the most benefiting company from all of this, had to focus their entire energy now on security and scale because they're doing things they never did before. Schools, my kids graduate over Zoom. That was not in their roadmap to do kids graduation over Zoom, right? All the e-commerce sites are seeing demand they've never seen before. B2B companies become B2C companies. My point is, all the plans 3 months ago were irrelevant post-COVID. Remote work, everything. And anyone not redoing their plan is going to be hit for sure. Analytics can help you predict patterns, predict the future. Analytics can tell you when you're turning around a corner, right? Because we've seen a dip. When are you getting out of the dip? And there are leading indicators that are much more valuable than lagging indicators. Revenue is a lagging indicator. By the time you see revenue going up again, you're too late. You should look at interest, at dialogues, at feedback from customers, right? So analytics can help you predict and assess. Second, analytics can help you slice and dice your business to find where, because it's not a cookie cutter, it's not a one size fits all. Some verticals, some countries, some use cases are in a totally different market reality than others. Lastly, analytics can help you manage the teams to avoid burnout, to understand, I am now dealing with a real challenge. Should I renew the lease on one of my large offices? How do you know the answer to that, right? Analytics are helping us. We actually did some surveys with our employees. We connected that data with where they live data. Which one said they want to move to another state in the US? Because many want now to move to a lower cost state. Why live in San Francisco when you're locked in a box? It costs a lot of money and cannot get out. So data is really helpful. Lastly, many of our customers embed analytics in the products they give their own customers. And you can help companies do that because it gives more value to their customers in times like this.
A lot of our listeners are more on the early stage SaaS startups, the kind of growth stage SaaS startups, and BI tools. Perhaps there may be a perception that they're more aimed at the enterprise because of the price points and so on. So what can they do if you're an early stage startup, as a SaaS CEO, and you want to use analytics to be the superpower, but perhaps you think it's out of your reach? What can you do?
It's a really good question. It's not only the size of the company, it's also the technology. A modern startup in May 2020 has a cloud data warehouse on Redshift, Snowflake, BigQuery, and the like. They have a data team, either under R&D, CFO, what depends on the size. They have data engineers, data analysts, etc. They don't want a drag and drop tool that a Fortune 500 wants, and they don't want something that deals with Hadoop and on-premise. We need native cloud data warehouses. So I'm proud to share that we actually merged with a company called Periscope Data out in San Francisco, whose product is only designed for those companies. We have thousands of startups just on that product called Sisense for cloud data teams. It's for data teams on the cloud, cloud native, running on Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery right now for those people. And it speaks their language. They use R, Python, SQL to get insights. It's very agile. Everyone from Zoom to PagerDuty, from Tinder to Unity, right, are using it to run their business. And I would encourage them to take a look. It's not a Fortune 500 BI company. It's designed for those teams, and it's very cost effective for them. And the reason it's important now more than ever, first, it's a muscle you must build. It will, if you've done well, it should save money from day one. You spend X, you should save 10X on the insights you bring, on the sales optimizations, on the customer success improvements, on the manual labor you will not do, on the agility it provides. So it should save money. If not, me or whoever you use is, not giving you the right value. And it should make your people super people, right? Super users, superpower, because it makes your data engineer or data scientist almighty. Today, they waste 80% of their time on dealing with data massaging. That is a waste of time. They can get it all done by software and automation. And to the CEOs or the VP sales or the CFO, I would say, if you're not running your business on data, especially a SaaS company, you're running blind. You need usage analytics, Salesforce analytics, funnel analytics, customer success analytics, website visitors analytics, trial analytics. How can I do that manually? It's crazy.
You'll be speaking at SaaStock Remote, as we said at the beginning of the show. What will you be speaking about? What will we learn from you and from your talk?
So my belief, and you can see I'm very passionate about it, I've done it now for a few companies, is that every company, especially a SaaS company, but every company is a data company. You're sitting on a goldmine of data you underestimate. You may use the data only to answer tickets, diagnostic, IoT operations, whatever it is you do. You're sitting on a goldmine of data, and that data can become its own product. I believe that every SaaS company, sooner or later, would provide embedded analytics, embedded data science, embedded self-service analytics in their product to leverage the data they sit on. They will monetize it. UiPath, right? Great tech company, the fastest growing one, using Sisense to monetize the data they sit on and give value to their own customers, or to run their business better, like PagerDuty. But you're sitting on a gold mine that is, if not leveraged well, is a missed opportunity. And there are some basic tricks that you can use tomorrow morning to start either using it to run the business better or to give better value to your customers, reduce churn, increase win rate, charge for it as an extra module, depends what you do. And it's amazing how people underappreciate the data we already sit on for day-to-day running the company, running the mill sake. So I'll give many examples. It's not a sales pitch. If I'm doing a sales pitch, I'm wasting your time. It's really my lessons learned as a CEO and what I see with many, many customers, many SaaS companies using data to become better, faster, sharper, be more differentiated, more competitive, and grow the business faster.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to watching that talk on the scale stage at SaaStock Remote. And our final question that we always ask our guests is, how do you stay healthy and sane, on your journey? I saw you have a little sports injury there.
Yeah, healthy, I just injured my hand, so I don't know what healthy.
What's your way of staying healthy and sane as you lead a company of 800 people?
So I do three things. One is I plead guilty. I'm a gamer. So sometimes late at night when everyone is asleep, I open, be it a strategy game or some other game, and just play a few hours and forget about anything that relates to revenue and SaaS. I like to kill some monsters, conquer some hills, and build some fortresses, and I love it. And I've been doing it from Civilization 1, if people remember it. So that's one. The second one is I work hard, play hard. I think work-life balance is an oxymoron. It doesn't exist. So I don't have balance. When I work like a dog. And when I don't work, I enjoy life. I used to do Burning Man, but they shut it down. So whatever it is, good vacations. I went to, Machu Picchu a year ago, hiked up. It was amazing. So I work hard, play hard. And lastly, right now with COVID-19, I just try to go out. Last week I went to the Poconos and had the weekend there, socially distancing myself with myself at an Airbnb there. And this is the result of having a bonfire late at night with the family and not paying attention to what's going on. But look, we're all going through tough times. CEOs or not, doesn't matter. We all work harder than ever. I enjoy working, but I enjoy detaching myself from work. Find your place to not work, be with yourself, if it's a computer game or vacation. I think work-life balance is hardest than ever. It doesn't exist. Work hard when you work hard. Enjoy life, turn on the phone, turn off the phone when needed. When I'm watching a Netflix with my wife, the phone is away because I cannot be next to it and not peek at an email. We all find our own little things to do it. If you run a company, force your people to take time off, because right now no one will do it. They'll feel guilty. If they do it, everyone else will send them emails and Slack, so it's not a vacation anyway. Force them to take time off. They deserve it. You owe it to them, and they'll appreciate it.
Great. Well, great advice to end the show there. Amir Orad, CEO of Sisense, thanks so much. Looking forward to your talk at SaaStock Remote on June the 10th. And yeah, thanks for being a great guest on the SaaS Revolution show.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.